Hello everybody and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Valkyrie, part of the Endgame Thor Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Valkyrie displayed in her battle armor with her accessories, her Build-A-Figure piece, and then we get the Avengers Endgame logo down there at the bottom. On the side we have some artwork there of Valkyrie just kind of taking a look at us, and that's the same on both sides. On the back we get that same artwork just expanded upon, and then a brief read-up. An honored warrior, Valkyrie uses her strength and skill to defend Asgard. And in the middle, we have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Endgame Thor Build-A-Figure. And at the bottom, you have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Valkyrie. And here is Valkyrie outside of her packaging, and it was very cool of Hasbro to get us this version of Valkyrie here in her battle armor versus the exiled version that we got in the Ragnarok 2-pack with the Gladiator Thor. It's nice to have her displayed so that we can have her either at the end of Ragnarok in this armor, or of course if we're setting up that big battle scene for the end of Endgame. So really cool of Hasbro to get us this figure. It does look really good. I will tell you right out of the gate though, they put the heels on this character and it's driving me nuts because it took for just one of these poses here, it was like 3 or 4 takes while I was trying to film the 360 and it just kept falling over that I finally just said the heck with it, put it on a peg stand so that it wouldn't fall over. So that is very annoying to me that it's back to those heels that we have said for so long that we don't like. Now, she, of course, comes with her Build-A-Figure piece, but in addition to that, her actual accessory is this sword with a sort of translucent blue blade, and then we do have that white hilt and the little hook there at the end, and then she also has a sheath for that blade, but as I was looking, it doesn't appear that there's any place to put that sheath, so she's basically just going to be holding it, I guess, if you want to have her, like, taking the sword out of it, but I thought that was weird that we didn't get that. Now, in standing straight up, Valkyrie is coming in at about 6 3/8 inches tall, which makes her about 16.2 centimeters, and I'm sure that additional height is because of those platforms. So we've already talked about the sword and took a quick look at that in the sheath, so let's go ahead and just get a closer look here at Valkyrie. And here is the figure up close, and Hasbro once again just doing a great job with this sculpt work, and the paint actually came out looking really good as well. The glue holding the hairline on is not bad in terms of the gaps that we have sometimes with some of the other figures. I can't help but wonder if the hairline goes up a little too far on the forehead. What do you think? Yeah, maybe. But either way, it still looks really good. We have well-sculpted hair. We actually have the braids that run all the way down. Those came out looking really good. She does have this cape here, or cloak, or whatever you want to call it, and you can see like her shoulder pads, they match what's on the actual costume. And if you wanted to, this cape doesn't look too bad on a Lilandra figure. So if you have the Silver Sable body with the Lilandra head sculpt, you throw this cloak on there, and it looks pretty decent. It'll work. But you can, of course, just remove that here off the back of Valkyrie. And then we'll just kind of take a look at the rest of the armor. And it looks pretty decent. You got rivets there going throughout some of those plates. Paint work is not too bad. Slight overpaint in a few spots. But otherwise, yeah, not too bad. And the back side looks good too. She does have a softer material here going down for the legs, so that's not too bad in terms of hindering any kind of articulation. And then checking out more rivets, more armor panels, things like that. Yeah, this one came out pretty good. And then there's those heels. Why? I hate the heels. And you actually have the peg holes there at the front of the toe there. But it's a pretty good looking figure overall, and I really do like it. And where was it? There was one spot, yeah, right there, a little bit of missed paint on the neck there where it looks like, I imagine it's molded in white, so it's kind of sticking through there. Now, looking at the articulation, you do have a head that can go all the way around, can look down without too much problem. It can look up, but if you do look up, those braids are going to flare out. You could potentially heat them up and get them back down if you wanted to, just to stay in place. But otherwise, most likely they're meant to be in a looking straight ahead pose, or at least having the head level. Shoulders do come up, but you want to be careful. So if you come up without trying to finesse it, you can see it's going to hit that plastic. So what I found is if you bring the arm back, you can then, there we go, put it in there without any problems. And then you can rotate and go down, and you got the arms that can come up quite a ways. But the moment you bring it back out, and you're going to hit that plastic again. So be careful with the shoulder joint there. And of course, you did have full rotation. You do only have a single jointed elbow there, but there is rotation at the elbow. And then you do have a hinge and rotation at the wrists. She does have a diaphragm joint, which will let you go all the way around. She can get a little bit of a crunch, not much. Going back, not bad, but you are going to have a little bit of a gap there, so you can kind of see into that ball joint. No other waist articulation. Legs are going to stop about right there, and it's not hindered by this. That seems to be about the limits of the sculpt. Can kick forward, hardly at all. Backwards a little bit. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees, and then she does have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. And overall, it's a cool figure in terms of getting this added to the MCU collection. See, and she's almost fallen again because of those darn heels. The heels are definitely my biggest complaint with her. I even have her pegged in right now, and that's the only thing that's keeping her standing straight up right now at the moment. So it's still a good figure, though, in terms of rounding out some of the MCU collection, especially if you're looking to do that big endgame battle, which I think a lot of us just want to have as many characters as possible for that endgame battle scene, and then that way you can have a full Avengers assembled, and I think that's probably the biggest draw for me with this figure. But otherwise, I think the head sculpt came out looking good, and for the most part, the body sculpt came out good too. Still have single jointed elbows, and again, just those heels make it probably the roughest part of this figure. But that is it for this review. Make sure to hit that like button if you like it. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my video, and have a great day.